Alright, we are back. I believe we are in the middle of a point-to-point, right? Interesting, you could also just not do that apparently? No, I only have sponsors to continue, okay. That menu threw me off for a second there. Wait, can I choose which vehicle to use for each individual part? I didn't think I realized I could do that. I figured I'd have to use the ATV the whole time. I mean, yeah, well, let's give it a shot. Let's try it using the truck again. If nothing else, it'll give us more money. Because we make way more money using this thing. Because we just kind of do tricks by accident. It may also go exactly the same way the last course did. It's perfectly possible. So I may end up having to switch to an ATV anyways. But let's see. Did I just see a hash for the words not installed? Interesting. What you're seeing here on the right side of the screen, this is just all stuff that the game hashes in general, all strings the game hashes, not just file names and directory names. And file names, directory names are the only things I care about, but you're seeing some extra stuff too. It's curious to see what other things the game actually hashes as well. Oh, hello. I got analog control this time. Good. Okay. There, we're getting up to speed here. That was a little peculiar. The reason I can't just go straight and ignore the forks here. Oh! There's that. Seems fine enough. Anyways. Yeah, I see no reason not to take this on this vehicle as long as I can land right. Ah! Well, it's a good slide if nothing else. It's plenty of money. Felt that. Not enough to actually, like, have it knock me off course or anything, but I still felt it. Yeah, I do all those silly whines around and whatnot. It's annoying. See if we fare a little bit better going this way. No. But isn't this supposed to be the kind of course that's the part that's easier for the heavier vehicles? Jeez. I guess it's more direct if you can take it quickly, but it's definitely not an easy path to take quickly. Jeez, what was that? Very alpine, this course. Jeez, man. Some of these parts are a little... Did I just see you pop in? Oh, hello. Yeah, not especially comfortable some of these parts here. In general, it seems like these, it kind of seems like shortcuts that are, in theory, shorter routes. I don't see why it would be heavy vehicle specific. But, of course, end up only being shortcuts if you actually manage to go through them quickly. Feels like that's the formula here. Man, I love being able to just... What in the world are you talking about? Game. You're a name. Again, lots of crazy jumps and bumps. Game, don't... Okay, good. This game is way too aggressive with its accusations that you're off the course. Seriously. I have to say, I'm liking this course a lot, though, so far. It is nice sometimes you just say, whatever, I'm ignoring the track and just going straight along through all the forks in the road and whatnot. Come on, keep going. You're not doing horribly position-wise, if I say so myself. I still gotta do better. Come on. But hey, a little bit of flavor there. Like an actual thing, a landmark. It's not the first time we've seen one of those, like we've passed through little tiny towns at the ends of courses before and whatnot. But I haven't seen lots of those kinds of things. Ride you off the road if you can, maybe. Maybe not. Whatever. Oh, cool. So these vehicles really... The heavy vehicles tend to react really poorly to... And in kind of irrational ways, in my opinion, to not landing on all four wheels. Like, of course, it being bad to not land on all four wheels is a thing that makes sense. That's trivial. But the way in which they respond is they tend to spin in very non-physical looking ways, in my opinion. Also, I don't think we're doing well enough here. Oh my god! Did I just lose analog control? No. Okay. Well, that's the end of that. These tend to take more than one try, which is perfectly fine, I think. Honestly, these are fun enough that I don't mind too much. Yeah, I really like the feel of this particular course. It has the usual stuff of a heavy vehicle course where I kind of have to deal with the fact that lots of the paths are just way worse than other paths, it seems like, and the supposed connection between which course or which vehicle a particular part is labeled for and which vehicle type you actually use is a little dumb. I really don't like how it keeps giving you really thin paths for these big unwieldy vehicles. And repeated jumps too. Like lots of these paths that are supposedly for heavy vehicles seem to be specifically things that heavy vehicles actually aren't good at, which is very strange to me. Also, speak of heavy vehicles not being good at things. Goodbye. Like, should I take this part here? I don't know. Like, it is more direct. The idea might be that it's a steeper path, for which reason the more powerful engine of a heavy vehicle might be better suited. I don't know how true that actually is anyways. No, doing stuff like that is also important. I was gaining on the competition for a good chunk of the last attempt, which is why I don't suspect yet that this is impossible with a heavy vehicle. But the big problem here is, like, your control is a little bit approximate with these really heavy vehicles that slide around everywhere and whatnot. Like, they throw their weight around like crazy. And then they have you going through these really slim paths. Like, not being able to easily gun it the whole time is perfectly fine. But even then, I have to say, some of these paths are just... Shoo. Okay, yeah, that part's just not designed right, programming-wise, in my opinion. It accuses you of going off the course when you just haven't. Perhaps shouldn't take this part here where these jumps are just not amenable to the vehicle that they recommend you use. I also think I'm doing worse position-wise than last time, which is annoying. But yeah, I should stay on the right there, I think, in future attempts. Cool. When the game, why would you do that? Nice respawn. Well, never mind. Yeah, I constantly feel betrayed in these point-to-points by what paths they say are what better for which vehicles. On one hand, just because lots of the paths are just patently bad, and you don't know that until you actually try to take them. But also because lots of the paths are just honestly not good fits for the vehicles that they say they're for. Yeah, we did definitely do worse this time, I think. still being kind of silly and generally taking the heavy routes when the game presents me with one. It really doesn't seem to be the best idea to do so, though, in practice. The paths here are just too thin. Like, you need better control than these vehicles give you. All vehicles are just not equal in these courses. I'll give it one more shot. I do promise I'll finish this race this episode. But I may have to switch to the ATV again, just because as fun as this course really is, it's just... there are too many narrow, winding paths, and paths that have a bunch of jumps and whatnot that are not well suited for this vehicle type, despite being labeled as heavy paths. Lots of random rocks and whatnot that all the time you can't even really see until you hit them, which is also very annoying. One should probably keep in mind that a lot of these point-to-points feel more about consistency than about... Good job, dude. Anything else? Oh boy. Oversteer. Like, should I try to take these here? As long as I don't hit anything, which is much easier said than done. They don't feel that bad. It does feel good getting to go kind of straight up, even if not super quickly. We're trying to take these big turns. But yeah, in reality, as great as it's so tempting to try to just like floor it through lots of these point-to-points because it feels good to do so. And it's really the only race where you get to really like fly along a course at insane speeds, it feels like. At the same time, it does also feel like it's frankly not the best idea to do, because being consistent in these courses feels a lot more valuable than being maximally fast all the time, at the expense of occasionally wiping out really hard. Alright, so let's take this route this time. This doesn't have any of the dumb jumps. Again, it seems kind of like the path lighting there, if anything, should be opposite. I haven't really figured out any... That part's just broken. Oh, now they're okay? There is a part right there where the programming is just broken. It does not... Shoot. It does not, And there's a whole pack I was catching up to right there. It just doesn't function right. It forces you to respot when it should not. It's doing it again. Nothing went wrong there. I just drove right along the path. The game keeps respotting me when I'm just driving directly along the path as it's drawn. This course has programming issues. I like the aesthetic of it. I honestly find it fairly fun to drive around largely, but in spite of that, the course just doesn't treat the heavy vehicle well enough. And beyond that, it's also just full of... Dude! Oh. Good AI. It's also just full of issues with pathing. I don't think I'm going to catch up to anyone else here. Discovered that a lot of the time I should just ignore the paths the game says are for me and just take the green ones anyways. This attempt definitely could have worked if I hadn't, for instance, wiped that one turn. But it definitely did not work out in reality, unfortunately. Okay. Alright, we'll do ATV again. Ugh. I wonder if we'll have as much pain with the game deciding that we're actually not on the course when we are. Are these ATVs nowhere near each other? Okay. Yeah, it's astounding to me that the game before this had no issues with saying you're off course all the time or anything, and this one really does. It really, really does. Granted, also, they're big courses where you could take multiple paths and whatnot in the game before this, were the waypoints where it didn't matter how you got where you got, you just had to get there, which I loved, and also tested your familiarity with terrain and everything. This just kind of gives you a big whole web of, hey, here are some forking paths in a vague environment, have fun. I really enjoy this a lot still. And if there is still some fun to it sometimes, getting to go fast in a big environment. And yeah, there's a little bit of kind of dramatic tension to having the different vehicle types all together. And I would have gotten so much money from the slides and whatnot using the heavy vehicle here too. I don't know. Of course, now I need to likely work my way around this course a little bit. With a light vehicle as well. Probably taking different paths much of the time. And learn to not wipe out too frequently. Yeah, I think you can take those turns a lot more quickly in a light vehicle. It's probably why the light vehicles are told to take this path. I don't know if light vehicles can take the more direct, steep, heavy path here as quickly or not. Because, yeah, they don't have as much horsepower in a sense, but they're also way lighter to start with. They don't need to push as hard to get up. I'm a little unsure of how to pass this guy, which is concerning me. Oh, there we go. Well, good thing I slowed down before hitting him. My eyebrow itches. Not a lot I can do about that right now. If I apply the arbitrary limitation, not letting myself pause the game because it's funny not to. Go away. Actually, no, I can just scratch it now. There we go. Alright. Yeah, see, you're already doing much better. Oh, don't hit that. Oh boy. Yeah, I really have learned that this game's idea of which vehicles should take which path is kind of... I don't know what the logic even is, because sometimes you'll see one particular sort of quality in paths for one vehicle type, and go, oh, okay, it's this kind of... this path is recommended for this vehicle type because it has this particular feature on it. And then you'll see them swapped around in a later spot too. So, I don't know. Something about this is making me feel nervous to actually, like, go max speed. Feels like I can't see what's ahead of me well enough. I'm starting to fall behind a little because of it. I guess you do need to be willing to gun it on the right parts here, at least just ahead. It's not just a matter of being consistent. Where in the world am I going? Not used to this path. Okay, nice traction. Strictly speaking, I only need 18th, but of course I prefer to get better if I can. Oh boy. Been having a hard time keeping up with everyone on this last stretch for some reason. Guess I'll follow you in what may be a poor decision. But again, okay, the game decides that the jumps are where the heavy vehicles should go, which does not match my experience for which vehicles are good at what. Managing not hit any signs this time at least, which is nice. I do appreciate the added control on some segments, like right here with the ATV. Guess we're only gonna get 17th, which is not as good as it could be, but oh well. Alright, we'll continue next time. More snow? More snow. It's probably gonna be ATV again is the better thing, so we'll do that. See you then.